I want to kind of blow myself in a little bit. I was late for our meeting this morning, setting up, because I was having a dance party at home and it went a little bit over. So I hope everyone at home is having dance parties, because I'll tell you, that is one great and fun way to move your energy. So let's hear from my friend Jen.
Oh, thank you, Sandy. This is such a joy. And I'll tell you, I'm a little nervous, to be honest with you, because this is my first Facebook Live ever. I've joined in and have been a participant on other Facebook Lives, but this is the first one that I get to kind of co-facilitate with you. So I'm excited, and I know that this time is going to go really fast. But I'm honored to be able to share some techniques with you all this morning that I'm finding helpful and that I'm finding useful, because we are moving through this very interesting time right now. I don't have much to say about where we're headed into the future, except to offer that I'm actually looking forward to seeing what this time will bring us. We're in a great unknown right now, right? So the best we can do is just to come in and to anchor ourselves right now in the moment. So you are all joining me from my back porch in central Pennsylvania right now. And I kind of decided to come out here this morning because being outdoors is where my sanctuary is. This is where I feel most comfortable. And I was asking Sandy if nature was a little too loud this morning, because the birds are out and the chimes are chiming. And we're at this point right now where Sandy and I both started to giggle. And we're like, is nature ever too loud? No, it's never too loud. So we're in the back now, and it's a little chilly this morning. It's about 37 here. And the fresh air just feels so good. So I'm going to encourage everybody as much as possible, if you're live now with us, or if you come back and review this, just go outside if possible. I know many people are not able to go out right now, but for those who still can make it outside, please get outside. Okay, so where we're going to begin is with a sequence of exercises that I love to lean into energy medicine techniques. I find that I always have these guys available. I always have my hands available. I'm going to remain in a sitting position for this, but what I would encourage you to do is to explore a little bit with these, especially if you go back to review them. You can do these standing, you can do them sitting. You can lay down in your bed and you can do these. One of my favorite places to do these is out in the grass, just laying down on a blanket, especially when the weather's warm. So they're applicable to pretty much anywhere you happen to be in your world, okay? All right, so let's get started. I'm going to hand this over to you. Let's bring our hands together and let's just rub our palms, just to get some heat going between them. All we're doing is right now is we're just activating our hands right now. These are going to be our tools today. We're going to be painting with our hands, maybe not paints and multimedia like what Sandy works with, but we're going to be painting with light. And of course, you can add color to this too. And then let's just bring our hands to the tops of our legs, and let's find our feet on the floor, wherever you happen to be. I have socks on right now just because it's a little chilly, but I can touch my deck and I can bring awareness to the bottom of my feet, and it just feels so good just to bring awareness to the bottom of the feet. And let's just take a couple of breaths together. We're already beginning to ground our energies just by doing this. So even if this is all you do through the whole presentation that we have today, that's fine. That's fine. All right, let's take one collective breath together, because I'll tell you, when we start to breathe as a group together, we start to really morph that field into one awesome field of intention and field of healing. So let's take one nice deep breath together now. And a nice slow exhale. All right. So let's bring our hands. You can cup your eyes if you feel that you aren't comfortable touching your face. I know that's something right now that they're advising us not to do, especially if we're out in public. If your hands are sanitized, if you're home, if you feel safe to touch your face, we're going to cup our eyes, or you can just come right out in front of your eyes. And we're just going to hold this position for maybe 3 breaths. This really helps to take down our fight, flight, freeze response. And when I share this technique, the language I use is akin to when you put a cover over a bird cage. It's kind of what we're doing right now. We're putting the cover over our own bird cage right now, just to calm our senses. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring our hands to the forehead. Let's take a nice deep breath in. And exhale as we're bringing our fingers to our temples. Let's inhale up, behind the ears, and down the sides of the neck. Let's take a big in-breath in, and let's just hold our neck right now. Let's just hold any of that tension that we've got in the neck. Breathe it into your hands. And then when you're ready, we're going to just exhale and bring that right down into the heart center. Let's take a nice breath in here. And exhale. What we just did, this sequence of covering the eyes and then bringing energy up and over behind the ears, back down into the heart, it helps to really start to bring our stress response down. So whether you are a fighter or a flighter or a freezer, I have happened to be one of each of those in the last few weeks. This helps to really just kind of start to bring the senses down. It's working with the triple warmer meridian that we can access through traditional Chinese medicine. Next, what we're going to do the 4 thumps, which is out of Donna Eden's book. And I love doing all of Donna Eden's techniques, so I really love to help support her work. So we're going to tap on our cheekbones. By doing this, we're actually tapping into stomach meridian, which helps to really ground us. This sends energy down into our feet. And again, just do this with a few breaths. And then when you're ready, we're going to come down to the hollow of the throat. You're going to find the inside tips of your collarbone. You're going to come right under the collarbone, move out about 1 inch. There's a little dip, and it might be tender. So you can either massage this or you can tap it. This is kidney meridian. So this helps to bring energy from the feet all the way up into the body. So if you're feeling fatigued lately, this is a good one to lean on. If you're feeling a little spun out lately, tap your cheekbones. And again, just follow the breath. The next one we're going to go to is the thymus. So right behind the sternum, we have this beautiful little gland that helps to boost our immune system. All we're going to do is we're just going to knock in there and say, good morning. When I do this with kids, I love to, we do Tarzan, right? And I love to just go in here. And you think about our cousins, our cousin primates, they're in there, they're enhancing their immune system all the time when they're tapping on their thymus. So this is the 3rd thump. And then the 4th is, if you're going to come out right where your bra line might be. And if you don't wear a bra, that's fine. Just imagine where that could be, right on the seams of the sides of your ribs. And we're just going to tap in here. This is spleen energy. This is good for metabolism. It's good for processing. We're trying to metabolize and process a lot of information right now. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed, you're not alone. Next, we're going to come up. We're going to grab right into this deep trapezius muscle here. We're going to squeeze as hard as you're comfortable. We hold a lot of tension there. I know I personally hold a lot of tension here. We're going to squeeze this and we're going to drag this across to the hip, nice and deep. And we're going to do both sides. So I breathe in and exhale as I bring down. This is great for crossing our energies. We're going to do a lot of crossover techniques just to get our energies crossing. It helps our body to integrate left and right. It helps our brain integrate left and right hemisphere. We can think more clearly, make more grounded decisions. We need that right now. All right. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring the backs of our hands together. We're going to cross our wrists over and we're going to just lock our fingers in and wrap them back up. This is an alternate to the Wayne Cook position. And again, we're crossing. While I'm doing this, you might not be able to see this on camera, but I'm crossing my ankles also. So as many things as you can cross on your body, just go ahead and cross. Crossing fingers, crossing ankles, crossing wrists. And we're also crossing right in front of our heart. So we can breathe right into this heart center of ours. This is really great if you're feeling scrambled. If you're having a hard time thinking clearly right now, this is a great technique to do. And I think for anybody who works with children, you see children do this all the time. They know. All right, when you're ready, we're going to switch sides. So we're going to take the opposite wrist, we're going to cross it over, we're going to interlace our fingers, wrap it back up, and I'm also crossing my ankles in the opposite direction. So I had right over left first, and now I have left over right. And breathe. I don't know anybody right now that is choosing not to want to pay attention. And if you're doing some of these crossover techniques, especially, it's helping to bring your brain back online. We need to be online right now. And I say that in a physical, energetic, mindful way. I'm not necessarily meaning online technology-wise. I mean online with our systems. All right, let's uncross. And then we're going to bring the tips of our fingers and the tips of our thumbs together. We're going to bring the thumbs right up between the eyebrows. And we're just going to allow this crossed energy that we just created in our hands to pour right into our forebrain. This is exactly where we want to be making our decisions from right now. A lot of us are still in our hindbrain right now, but we want to be able to make clear choices for all of our health and vitality right now. And let's take a nice deep breath in and then just pull the skin of the forehead across. And then just when you come to the temples, just shake your hands off. Come back up again. Deep breath. And to the temples one more time. Shake it off. Actually, that feels so good. I'm going to do it one more time. I tend to be a very cognitive person. I think a lot. And this is one way to really help start to let loose some of that tension that I hold in the forehead. And to the temples, and shake your hands off. All right. So next, we're going to come back up into the heart center for a moment. And we're just going to cross our hands here. And let's just breathe right back into the heart again. We're living during a time right now where I ask of myself, I'm asking of my family, are we moving from our heart? Are we speaking from our heart? Are we moving from our grounded core of being right now? And with those intentions, I hold that right into this heart center because, boy, she has served me well through the years. And if this is all you do for an hour a day, even 10 minutes a day, this is amazing, amazing magic right here. And breathe one more time, and a nice deep exhale. We're going to do a little clearing. So we're going to take our hands right up in front of our mouth. And again, you don't have to touch your face if you don't feel like that's necessary at this point. These work even if you're not touching your body. And we're just going to come right down the center line, nice and slow. And I won't lean over for the video's sake, but I'm going to send this energy down the front of my legs, down to my toes, off my toes. And then I'm just going to allow my fingers to just remain in this position for a moment, just to allow that energy just to go right down into the earth. We don't have to hold on to all of this stuff right now. It's not our responsibility. And then when you're ready, with a nice deep in breath, we're going to bring this energy back up the core, right up the center. And then we're going to lock it in. We have a beautiful meridian that runs up the center of our body. We have one that runs up the back of the body. They connect right at the perineum, and they connect right in the back of the throat. And when I come in and I lock these in, I'm locking these energy centers in so that I feel like I have what I call an energy exoskeleton that starts to build. And we'll hold a position that's going to support those at the very end when we do a little discussion. Okay? All right. So let's stretch a little bit. And we can even stretch while we're sitting. All right? So again, let's just warm up our hands a bit. And we're going to put our hands on top of our legs. And with an in-breath, we're going to bring the hands up. Back down into the center. And we're going to stretch one hand up as far as you can to the sky, one hand down as far as you can to the earth. And it helps to enhance this stretch if you follow with your face up and then down, because you're getting a nice stretch across the neck then. And then we're going to bring our hands together. We're going to go up on the opposite side and down. We're going to bring the hands back together. I typically will take an in-breath here and hold my breath and come back in with an exhale, an in-breath. One more time. And exhale, back together again. Let's focus on the feet again. I want us to keep grounding. So without me leaning down again, I'm just going to start to do some gentle figure 8 motions. And all I'm doing is this with my hands. So I'm starting to build again more crossover patterns in the field that surrounds my body. So in this case, there's no rules. You can make big figure 8s. You can make tiny little figure 8s. You can cross your hands like this. But we're going to do these nice sweeping figure 8s from the bottom of the body up to the top and above. And I challenge anybody who's doing these, trying not to smile, because my gosh, the more you do this, the more you start to laugh, the more you start to giggle. I'm looking at Sandy's beautiful face right now. That makes me so happy. It's time to turn our joy buttons on as often and as much as we can right now. And this makes me feel joyful. And being outside makes me feel joyful. Hearing my chimes makes me feel joyful. Hearing the birds making love outside makes me feel joyful right now. So all I did to finish that was I did a sweep down, and I'm coming right back up into center again. And let's do a nice deep breath here. And then one more technique I wanted to share with you until we, just for a moment, we'll do one while we're talking a bit, but there's a technique that we do in Donna Eden's method called the Mela Mudra. And all it asks us to do is to connect the thumb and the forefinger. Now, what I typically do is I wrap my thumb over the nail of the first finger, and then that leaves my other 3 fingers free. So I'm going to do that with both hands. And then when you're ready, I'm going to make like little moose antlers. This is what I did when I teach kids this. I'm like, let's pretend we're moose. And so we're going to bring it right up to the temples, this loop here, up to the temples, and then we're going to wrap our fingers right around the front of the forehead. And again, if you don't want to touch your face, that's fine. You can do this out in the field too. I'm going to lean in, I'm going to touch my temples, and I'm going to touch points on my forehead that are so good for stress response. This is one of my emergency go-tos. When I start to lose it, this is what I do first. What this does, and I know for anybody that's never done anything like this before, you might really question what I'm doing and what I'm saying right now. That's okay, I don't mind. But what we're doing is we're connecting lines of energy together. Some of these are meridians that we're working with right now. And then we have these points right in the center of our forehead, these points of light that we call the oh my God points. And what happens is when we hold these points, and I'll talk about them a little bit more when I get to the next position, but when you're holding these points on the front of the forehead, it does magical things for your fight, flight, freeze response. But right now, what we're doing is we're just giving our systems an extra big boost of release right now. And it's this easy. We just breathe into it. You could hold this position for a long time. And I would advise, if you do start to feel ungrounded and uncentered, just try this and see how it feels. All right. So let's take one more deep breath together. And exhale. The last hold that I will invite you into, and we can hold this for a while, and I shared with Sandy that I might just hold this for a few minutes while we talk a bit, because again, it's such a nourishing position. But when you're ready, we can let our hands go. I'm going to hold the space right below my belly button, and I'm going to hold the space right up here. I'm going to hold my forehead here. So what I'm doing is I'm just resting my hand here right below my belly button, and I'm holding my forehead. when we're stressed, and I've watched people in my life do this for so long, and then when I actually learned what was happening, I couldn't believe it. So we do this when we're stressed. People do this. They go, "Oh my God." And what we've forgotten to learn is that it's okay to just leave our hands here. This is helping to redirect blood flow in the body by activating energetic points. We're electromagnetic creatures, right? This is why we can't take a bath with our toaster plugged in, right? So by activating these electromagnetic points on our body, we're helping to connect these energies. And what we're doing now is we're helping to connect a lot of different beautiful, powerful energies. So if it feels comfortable for you, we can do this and we can kind of talk for a bit. I figured, you know, it was worth mentioning right now, we're moving through this place of needing to establish trust. You know, there's a lot of us that are trusting the process of where we are. Each of us are in these individual stories right now. Even within family units, everybody's moving through their own individual story right now. Many of us are sitting deep within a fight, flight, freeze response right now. Some of these techniques will really help you with that, so feel free to go back and review some of these. They can all be done independently. You can hold some of these for as long as you want. You can hold each of them for as long as you want. But once we start to get ourselves back into balance again, we can come from a deeper place of knowing, a deeper place of sensing, a deeper place of grounding. You know, I look at our systems right now akin to a boat on rough waters. And the word that keeps coming to me is to anchor. And it's not easy to anchor in times like this, but I keep inviting myself to anchor. And it's helping tremendously. So what we're doing now is a really good anchoring technique. Again, coming back into our heart center, asking us if we're leaning into places from the heart, leading from the heart. And again, I'll finish up with just asking these divine questions of what brings you most joy right now? What are you feeling most grateful for? What brings you compassion? What brings you a sense of lightness and creativity? And if you can't physically do it right now, if you're not able to leave your home, then write it down. Start your bucket list for when you're able to come back out again. This is all temporary. We're going to move through this together. One of my favorite quotes is a Lao Tzu quote from the Tao Te Ching. Do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving until the right action arises by itself? And that's helping to carry me right now. And I leave that with you. And Sandy, I don't know how we are with time, but I figured if we could open it up, if we had a moment, if anything came through. I just wanted to thank everybody again for moving through this with me.
Well, we have some people really enjoying this, and I let them know to just share how they feel when we're done. Mike Diller says thank you. We have hearts and loves. Rachel Allen, Chrissy Lynn, Brandy's watching. We've got Kip Hunter. There's so many people from our revival family that are on and watching and hearing your face. So I didn't get to go through this with everyone because I was doing the technology stuff, but I'm just, if anyone's listening, please share how you feel. Maybe this is the first time you've done that, energy medicine. My friend Betsy thoroughly enjoyed this, much needed. Joanna, thank you both. What a treat. Oh, Linny from Revival says thank you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, everybody. And thank you, Sandy. This has been amazing. I'm happy to, if anybody wants to reach out, if anybody wants to ask questions or connect in, we can make sure that whoever has gone through this can be connected in with us. You can find our Energy Experience channel on Facebook. We actually just built also a page for resources for this time that we're moving through right now. So if you go out to our website, it's theenergyexperience.net. And we have a special banner up at the top that we've built, so you can just even click on that. But it's a list of free resources that are popping up right now. Some of them are for fee, that's fine. But we figured we would put something together for people to resource in the way of online museums, tours, Josh Gad just read us a bedtime story last night, and Christopher Walken did too. So, you know, we're really enjoying some of these resources right now. And then I'm gonna bring this guy in, my fantastic husband David. We've got a gathering coming up this fall. So if anybody's interested in learning more about Energy Fest, we're going to be presenting a workshop at Energy Fest in Cleveland. David is a new graduate of the Energy Medicine Certification Program, and we're going to have a lot of fun this fall in September. So do you have anything you wanted to say?
Oh boy. Nope, just thanks everyone for watching, and that was awesome.
Thanks for holding my mug.
Now, Jen, I've known you for a long time. We've done retreats together and facilitated healing and arts experiences for some time. And I think in the beginning of the video, I may have introduced you as Jen Mills because it's habit, but Jen Archibald. So Jen and David had a beautiful, beautiful ceremony. It was so sad to miss. So I'm still getting used to the name change.
Oh. I'm kind of like a loyal mom. I'll answer to anything as long as it's loving.
Dodie says, so needed. I'm crying from your infinite love. Linda says, calm. Thank you. I feel grounded. Christy, so good to see your faces. Lenny says, grounded and relieved. These are so exciting to hear. Some congratulations to David coming in. You can read those later, David. So happy for you. Yeah, so these are part of a series of conversations that I'm encouraging and inviting with my friends, holistic practitioners, and artists who really bring a healing quality to the practice that they put out into the world and bring their light. So this is 9 o'clock every morning. Either it's a guided meditation by me or a conversation with a friend. But what we're going to be doing shortly, because people want to be able to interact a little bit, is launch some longer conversations. So maybe, Jen, you might come back, and David too, and talk more about energy medicine and just have a conversation a little bit more interactive. I think it's going to end up being maybe on an evening when people are out of work, because what I'm hearing is people are at work, so they're watching this later, and they might want to be a little bit more interactive with these conversations. So are you on board?
Thank you.
Yes. Connecting with always a yes.
All right. Yes, we did go over time, but only by a few minutes, and I expected that.
Oh, thank you, Sandy, and thanks for everybody that joined us today. This is a big deal. I feel it right here. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a great day. Breathe in deep and feel the love from us, because it's coming out in droves. Love you all.